What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a new AI only battle, this time in EU4, which is exciting. We've not done this for a while. And what we're doing is we're in the extended timeline mod, which is, it didn't work for me for ages, but it's working again. So we're 100 years into the past, and I was going to do the shout outs, but we're going to save it because there's going to be a Civ 5 thing as well, and that links, then everyone will see it. That's better, so don't worry. Tomorrow night, I think, I don't want to say exactly when, but probably tomorrow there'll be a Civ 5 AI only special. I've kind of got something planned, so hopefully that all works out. You never know, things don't always work as planned. But for now, we've got EU4 in the year, it's not quite, it's 147 years before, because one of the scenarios is the 100 Years' War between England and France. It's not started, but it's about to. Oh no, it has started, there you go. In 1337, so we're all going to be starting from then. And just see what happens. We'll play for a few years. There's obviously some regions pretty, that's similar. Aragon, Castile, Portugal, there's not too much change here. Majorca owns this bit of land. That's cool. I didn't know that. France is a bit smaller. The HRE might be, it's a bit different. Tyrol is here instead of not Austria. Burgundy is much smaller, for example, so there's different nations around. Italy is very different. Venice doesn't even exist, unless that's, oh no, they have one province, so very small. Verona's much bigger. Papal State's more broken up. You've got Sicily, Sardinia, so lots of different nations. And probably the main changes come further east. I mean, look at Turkey. The Ottomans only have 4 provinces. Yeah, lots of nations we've never even seen before also in here. And yet again, the Balkans. Serbia's much bigger. Bulgaria's here. Byzantium. Sicily's out here. So there you go. It is quite a different looking start. We've got Lithuania, Poland still sort of normal. And then out this way we've got the White Horde. It's a new one. There's also a Blue Horde. So take your pick if you like colours. To help make your picks. Novgorod, Nenechia, and then Sapmi's here. Denmark's still here. And then the rest of the world. Africa's a bit different. We've got the Mamluks still. Tunis is not here, but I'm guessing from the colour scheme, maybe these guys have the same flag, so I'm guessing they are sort of a precursor to the to Tunis, for example. No Tlemcen yet, although I did do a test to make sure it didn't crash, and I think they turned up. Morocco's pretty big. You've got Mali, Kanem Bornu's, this is their time. Ethiopia's a bit smaller, I believe, than normal. There's much less going on in the south. The Middle East area sort of different as well to what we'd expect. No Timurids yet. Lots of different nations, although some are familiar. Mara, Aman, Hassa, Shamar. But the Gilearids here are sort of a newer nation who are doing quite well. If we go over to India, you've got more nations here as well, but you've got Delhi as the main power. And then there is a huge country over here called Yuan. I don't know if they'll break apart or they'll just stick together. They are much bigger than Ming is, so we'll see. But yeah, this is quite something. So that's huge. And then yeah, we have the Indonesian region too. So normally I'd ask you on EU4 games you'd pick like one for each continent, but just leave some comments, I guess, of who you pick. You don't have to, you can pick one winner, you can pick by continent. Obviously it's very hard to tell who will do the best in North America. In South America right now it's going to be 100 extra years probably before anyone arrives, maybe a bit sooner because when they pick idea groups. And again in Africa, I mean, it might take a while for this territory to be there. There's not even really, the nations that are here are much smaller than they would be in the 1444 start. But well, before we start, we'll just check the current great powers. We'll try and do that at the start of each episode just to keep on top of things. We will use this as a scoreboard. I know in Civ we sort of have the info addicts and we do have the ledger, but the ledger's way more complicated. So we'll just use we'll use this. It's very good, pretty good measure. Development is probably the #1 stat to use. Also I know the military one can be different, but Delhi there is then second, France third, Mamluks fourth, White Horde in fifth, then Castile, England and Morocco to kick it off. So Europe not as good. I guess there's 3 main Europeans in England, Castile, France. White Horde, I guess that's Europe, Asia. Yeah, there you go. They're in there as well, so they're number 4. But what we're going to do is we're going to crank it up to speed 5, because why not, and hit play, and hopefully it will work, although I have to probably sort of lower it when I move around the map. And what I'm going to do is bring up the current wars tab. We can just have a look at what's going on. sit here. So we got France already attacking Brittany. Poland's already going after the Teutonic Order, Bohemia and Mazovia, and they're allied with Lithuania and Hungary. And then England's in wars with both Scotland and then France and their little vassals. I think I have to reopen that to reset the score, so we might have to just sort of zoom out and press L again. The problem is it pauses every time I do. But yeah, early on, it's going to be a bit of blobbing out. First few episodes, it's going to be kind of tough, I think, to zoom in. There's some regions where we're just going to miss things. You know, here, for example, there's a lot of smaller nations than usual. The HRE, you can't keep track of that in a normal game, let alone this one. But yeah, look at that. If I zoom in too much, we just get chaos. I just want to actually... we don't have to pause. We can press L, and you have to press it to bring this up and then unpause separately. But I just want to check what sort of the total numbers are. So yeah, the biggest military is 150k yuan. No surprise there. 75k then for Delhi. The biggest in Europe then is France at 52,000. Okay. Just getting an idea. Scotland actually has more troops than England as well. So that's an interesting one. But yeah, now you can see a lot harder to keep track of early on. So we'll just keep an eye out for the nations that start to blob out, or when we see someone, you know, has occupied the whole of another country, for example. So for example, you see France is doing very well against Brittany right now. It does not like it when I zoom in too much, but that's the downside, I guess. If we're gonna I want to get through this at a reasonable speed, we'll try and keep it at speed 5 for as long as we can. We'll obviously have to slow down if we get some mega wars towards the end, as normal. Although I think genuinely it can handle it normally on this PC. I'm just gonna, we'll just click different things while we let them like get through the first few years to blob out. So we can see England's war. Castile has already allied Portugal, Savoy, Aragon, some of the big ones. Aragon's allied to oh no, wait, what? No, sorry, not Aragon, but Aragon's allied Portugal. Bohemia, oh, that is a brutal war with Poland there. I think Poland is just allied with Lithuania and Wolgast. I don't know how Hungary is in this. Hungary has the vassal. Oh, Bosnia and Croatia are Hungarian vassals. So, or junior partners mix. So we'll see them probably integrate those, unless, yeah, because it's a long time before Austria takes over them in the base game. So there we go. And Byzantium here is allied with Serbia and Georgia. Poland there. Scotland pushing in. This is pretty cool. France actually landed in England too, which is really bad. So I guess we'll see Scotland get their independence, and which is normal, I guess. In the 1444 start, Scotland is independent. And France, yeah, England's losing both these wars pretty badly. This could change things. I did do a test run, but I didn't notice England severe. I don't think England lost like this. I didn't pay much attention. I just ran it for a while to make sure it didn't break. But yeah, England looked pretty normal. But if in this war they may get kicked out of France. Castile is here though. Oh, they are also in a war. Oh, they are defending. They've joined Scotland's team. That is brutal. I don't think they were even allied to Scotland a minute ago, so that's surprising. Looks very calm when I zoom out, apart from there. Naples seems to have already grown. No, I don't think they have actually. It's hard to tell. We'll keep an eye on it. We will start to see. Once it gets going, it will start to feel a bit more time-lapsey as we get some bigger nations going. Over here as well, we'll keep an eye on Delhi. Yuan does have a lot of separatists to deal with, so I feel like they could fall apart, you know, if it goes wrong. But they have a lot of tributary states as well, so they're all right for now. They didn't fall apart in the test, which was like 30 years, but we'll give them some time, you know. It's hard to be that big. If Ming's capable of it, and there is a mandate thing here, I'm sure it can happen. I'm mostly early on interested in this peace deal. I mean, this is the scenario start date, so this is the big event. But yeah, England is going to get messed up, I would imagine, in this peace deal, which could change the future of Europe. There you go, France pieces out, takes all of the south coast nearly, apart from Cornwall, and releases Wales as well, which is pretty cool. That's actually really interesting to see. We're going to see like a broken up Britain. I think Scotland might take a lot more though, which could really make things pretty interesting. But yeah, this is big. England's normally a big player, and like I said, this definitely didn't happen in the test run. So I'm glad some different things have happened, even though I didn't pay... Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention in the test run. I wasn't even here for half of it. I just left it running. But there we go. And he's looking good over there. For Scotland, that is, not for England. But there you go. Wales is here. That's already the first noticeable event. Looks Naples did just invade. I believe that's Sicily, but that seems to have ended just as I zoomed in. Byzantium, this region could be interesting. I don't know if the Ottomans will do well. I don't know my Ottoman history too well, so I don't know. I'm guessing this is what they were, and they obviously grew into what they normally are. But whether they do that this time around is pretty unlikely, I would say. They might be the best here, but I don't think they'll get to the same strength that we normally see them. I mean, they definitely could, I guess, so I won't rule it out, but it's a lot less likely that they would do that. And I mean, someone else could do it, right? So, I don't know, these guys, look, Germian, they could definitely do it, but so could the Ottomans, so could Byzantium, could have a strong Bulgaria. Anything's really possible, I think. These guys are probably the biggest at the moment, but of course that's not the decider. Each province is worth a different amount if you're new. If you're, a Civ fan who's come over, not every piece of land is the same in terms of value. England is losing, but it does look like they're maybe turning this around a little bit. Just because they're sort of together. Maybe fighting a bit better. So we'll see. I hope Scotland doesn't bottle it. They'll need to make that peace deal soon. It says they're still winning. Oh, there we go. There's the peace deal. Scotland takes the north, west, and I guess northeast of England there. Got a few provinces, and that leaves England probably no longer a great power. Nope, Mali joins the list. Well done, Mali. And who's this? They released Cornwall as an independent province. Interesting. But yeah, England, that's not good. I don't know where they fit now in the order of these nations. I would say Scotland's #1 now, especially with what France took as well, but it does depend on the provinces themselves. I don't know how that Poland war turned out against the Teutonic Order. I didn't know what their borders exactly were before, but that seems to have finished. I guess the Poland team won because they look pretty strong going into that. We've got another war here. Is France at war with England again? Who is this? Oh no, France is conquering Cornwall immediately, I think. Oh no, what happened there? I don't know. It ended, regardless. I think France has a lot of vassals. Yeah, look, they have most of modern day France already under their control. Brittany's a PU now because they won that succession war. We might see some. I mean, if there's no England messing around, and obviously that depends on Scotland not coming over. We might see someone form Ireland, which would be pretty cool. The Isles here even got a province out of that Scotland war. This is normally an England province. They got handed back to them. Alright, we got a war here. Who's this? Rostov v Chernigov. Oof, Novgorod. Could probably win this, I would guess. Novgorod is winning. Yeah, there you go. Oh, they peaced out. They didn't seem to grow too much, but there you go. It's the end of that one. We've got the White Horde v the Blue Horde has begun. Pretty big. Well, I mean, the Blue Horde's between like a rock and a hard place here. The White Horde look pretty good. And Yuan on this side, who have some separatists to deal with, as do Chagatai here. Oh my goodness, Shun broke out already. Okay, never mind. That did not happen in the test run. And Shun is already the 3rd great power in the world, and Yuan is 1st. Okay, so probably going to see more break out here. I imagine we might see a northern part and a southern part. Something along those lines. Southeast Asia at the moment, we have Sukhothai and Khmer as the main nations, the biggest ones. Delhi is definitely eating more and more land. They might be a real powerhouse this game. They're also allied to some of the strongest neighbours. And we might see someone slowly unify Japan at the moment. In fact, yes. Oh wait, Japan actually exists in this one already somewhere. I don't know which. Oh, here they have these provinces here, and they own all the rest of it. So they might form it all together. Of course, that doesn't normally happen by 1444 start date. Is this? I feel like these are already here, but I might be wrong. Either way, they've popped up. Shun is only allied with Goryeo. Sorry, I'm gonna get a lot of pronunciations wrong because I've never heard of some of these places at all. Goryeo, which is kind of a career, I'm guessing an early career, because again the colour scheme, but maybe that's wrong. Sorry, I'm sure you guys know your history better than me of some of these very specific areas. The Hafsids here seem to have grown. feel like, yeah, they've grown into Tripoli. There you go, 1347. We're getting through. It's fine. It looks like a big war here between the Mamluks and the Jalayirids. Yeah, it looks like the Mamluks should win that. And at the moment, they are winning it. They also have Hejaz as a vassal, which helps them out early on. What's going on here? Byzantium's not really grown. Naples, I don't know if they had this at the start, but they have it now. Like I said, it's just going to be a nightmare to keep on track of what's going on. But I'll try my best, particularly in Europe and over in the the key regions. We will probably we'll keep an eye on this, see who forms into a big. If anyone sort of unites everything, but I don't. How these work have changed. I don't really know. Some of them are like invisible, and I don't know. I've never played as one. I don't know. South America as well. I mean, some of them hardly touch each other, but we'll see if someone sort of gets big in this sort of region, maybe like a Peru style country. Probably won't be called Peru, but there you go. And again, same. We'll definitely keep an eye on North and West Africa each episode. And we'll keep an eye on Yuan and see if they continue to implode. Shun will need some good allies, I would guess, if they want to do that. But yeah, because Yuan is still super strong and is attacking the Blue Horde now. Oh, sorry, Blue Horde. That's not going to be fun. Who's this? Ooh, Eretna here could grow quite a bit if they take out Karaman. That would make them the biggest in Anatolia, for sure. Georgia's quite big there. Keep an eye on them. So many units. Let's just zoom out. I believe the Emperor is Bavaria. Although, looking at this vote, that may flip next time. But yeah, the HRE does exist. Sicily's being invaded by... Who is this? Naxos. I'm guessing Sicily's actually invading Naxos, yes. There you go, never mind. Sorry, Naxos. When does England's truces? They do take a while to expire, another 6 years, but I imagine England could be in trouble. Norwegian noble rebels have taken control of Iceland. Who's Byzantium province. Is this always a province? Yeah, it must be. I don't know, this map is definitely different. I've noticed there's some slight amendments to the map, I think. Look at this river, that just looks cool, doesn't it? Oh, it's actually like that. It's splitting into like 8 things, that's pretty cool. Who's this? Nogai is struggling against Baluchistan, which cannot be the main cause of that war, because they're very far apart. In fact, they just pieced out, but... No, it's a war against these guys, Quara Unas. They are probably going to die, based on this. Shun can probably hurt Yuan most by, if rebels pop up, just not letting them through. That might really hurt them. Okay, yep, the Mamluks definitely winning that war, so they are going to be a big contender. Eretna did beat Karaman, so we'll keep an eye on that and take a lot of land. Novgorod looks quite good too. Early on. Where are we looking towards the end of this first episode? So the great powers. So Morocco has joined the list, who wasn't on it at the start, and I believe Shun definitely joined as well, but England were pushed off. Mali was briefly on it, but they've fallen off. Who else? I feel like Mali might have suffered from Shun popping out of, no one overtook them, but Shun dropped out of Yuan, who are still 1 and 3. So that probably pushed Mali off, and then Morocco's kind of taken England's place. If I'm not mistaken, the rest of the list is the same people that were on it as the start. So yeah, I guess Mali probably lost out to Shun, and then Morocco took England's place. I wouldn't be surprised if Scotland could get on there, if they keep going at that sort of pace, if they win another war against England. They'll certainly be on there. Rebels there. Oh, France is already at war with Spain. Okay. Or Castile. Oh, and yeah, Castile's in trouble here. Aragon, Portugal, they all backed France. That's rough. Castile was allied to all of them. and they all, I guess, betrayed them. So we'll see what sort of peace deal. We could see a very strong France, at least early on, if Castile is going to be wrecked. But I would imagine Aragon will demand some territory here, as will Portugal. They're not going to give much of it to France, as you can see. And you can only take what you've actually occupied in the peace deal. Again, if you're maybe usually a Civ AI watcher and haven't delved into EU4 too much and this is your first time. So Portugal with the Greenland, that they can get that in the peace deal, but France can only get what's in blue, and at the moment they only have one province. How else? Anywhere anything crazy happened? I'm sure we're going to look over at some point and crazy stuff's just happened. That's beyond normal. Lots of separatists down here. Yeah, I think this South China region could break up, and then Shun would be in a much stronger position to fight Yuan in the north. But there we go. That is going to be it for the first episode. Be sure if you want to leave some picks, who's going to be the strongest in some regions. However you want to do it. I guess if you want to pick every continent, if you just want to pick one overall winner, whatever you want to do, that's fine by me for this one. It's just something a little different. For now, there will be a Civ 5 AI only. The plan is, if you're watching this video the day it comes out, that I will stream probably this Saturday, because I don't think we can do EU4 multiplayer on Saturday. I will probably do a streamed one where people can be interactive, which I'll sort of announce soon so that people know about it. Just like it will be like a generic kind of world game. It's kind of the plan, where you can, every 25 turns, we'll sort of let the chat gift someone some units or some money. I'm going to try and make it like quite interactive. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I can get that sorted out. And then, yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.